What is good, guys? Welcome to this weekly recap. I'll be going over the trades that I took, trades that I should have taken, and yeah, I did end up having a losing week. I took two trades, one break even and one loss. Should have been a better week. Was mistakes from my part. So yeah, let's go over it. Going to Monday, my daily bias was bullish. We had this place higher from FOMC, no, from Powell speaking, and we were generating low resistance liquidity on the way down. So I wanted to see something like this happen, and that is actually exactly what happened. So Monday here, we ended up sweeping this low here, and then we got a 30-second inverse, 30-second inverse right here, and I was going to take this. The only problem is that I was calculating my risk, and like my break-even point was this right here because it was a 1 minute fair value gap or like a 3 or 2 minute fair value gap, and then so that was my break-even point, and sadly it just ended up bumping to my break-even point in like a second or two after we got the inverse, so I wasn't able to enter on this trade. And then full take profit was this high right here, but we ended up getting an SMT, so I would have full closed right there at around that 1.7 RR. Unfortunate though, because I was going to take this trade, but I just missed out on it because I was calculating risk. I wasn't really paying attention too much, and I saw it like around here, and so I started calculating my risk, and yeah, I missed out on this trade. But yeah, and then there wasn't really anything great after. It was a non-use month. No, we had 10 a.m. in home sales, but nothing too crazy. And then we started kind of chopping, and nothing too good after that. And yeah, okay. So for Tuesday now, let's see. I was leaning bearish. We did have an SMT inside of a 4 hour fair value gap. It was a pretty small one though. You can kind of see it. Okay. We were bouncing between Peter race right now, so and we also filled a daily gap. And we kind of displaced out of it. So, but we are respecting the forward for value gap, and we have an SMT inside of it. And I would like I said, I wanted to wait and see and let more structure play out. We did also have a low resistance liquidity higher, so I will see what happens. And then that day, I don't really remember much. So let's see. 26, 26. So here, oh yeah, okay. I ended up taking the loss here. So we ended up sweeping this low inside of an hourly fair value gap. I mean, this is high, not low. This high inside of a four of an hourly fair value gap. We had, yeah, we had London lows, which was this low right here, and then yeah, we kind of had this low resistance liquidity here. And yeah, and here we ended up getting this 2 minute inverse. And I would have taken this if we had swept this high, but we didn't. And we didn't have an SMT either, so I didn't take anything there. Uh, this ended up playing out kind of. Yeah, I mean, you would have hit take profit, I guess. You got to take profit right there, right there. That was good. But again, it was against my rules. We didn't sweep this high, so I can't take it. And then we ended up sweeping the high, and we got a 30-second inverse. Damn, it's kind of annoying that I have to do this. And then we got this two 30-second inverse right here. Let me go to my executions. And then I got my entry around here. Yeah, around there. I had my stop where 525. My stop was right there. And then my break-even point was here. But oh, you might say, oh, it hit your break-even point. It actually didn't on NQ. Oops. Um, on NQ ended up making equal lows. I'll show you guys. And it was also a 3 minute fair value gap. So here. So we ended up making equal lows, and it was a 3 minute fair value gap. So I was still holding it because I go based on NQ and not MNQ. But yeah. Uh, 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 uh. Oh yeah, and that's right. On this day, I did end up, as you can see, I was putting a limit at the 2 minute inverse. I forgot about it. I was putting a limit at the 2 minute inverse, but I don't know why, like market ordered it when I was putting a limit. And I just took it out because I noticed that we got this MT and stuff. So I just closed like a small loss of 13 bucks, I think. Yeah, it was like 10 and fees. And yeah, did it take two break-even trades? Uh, okay, I'll see. Okay, whatever. And then yeah, this was the loss right here. A plus setup though, so it's fine. Okay, next day. How many trades? Wait, so I ended up taking, yeah, no, two trades. Yeah, yeah. This one wasn't like a real trade. And yeah, okay, so going to next day, Wednesday. Fuck. Wednesday, I had a bullish bias. We were super close to this buy side right here. Oh yeah, I remember this day. So we had super close to this buy side right here. We were inside this hourly fair value gap. We also did take London highs in pre-market, but we still have Asia highs rising higher. Um, on this was also a forward fair value gap and an hourly fair value gap. So yeah, we do have low resistance liquidity lower. So if we start displacing to the hourly for through the hourly and forward fair value gap, then I could expect the low resistance liquidity to be the draw. And this day was super tricky because we did end up inversing the 4 hour and hourly fair value gap right here. So we got the forward inverse, and so I was turning bearish, but we ended up just pumping and taking out my initial drawn liquidity. And I was actually looking for longs on this 15-minute intermediate low. I think I actually put a drawing of it. Let me see. Yeah, so I was looking for longs out of here and expecting the hourly fair value gap and forward fair value gap to hold. But yeah, we didn't really get that. Let me see, let me zoom in. Um, yeah, there was this 1 minute inverse, but I didn't really like it because ES had taken all of this liquidity already. So we had an SMT, so I didn't really like it. Would have been a break-even trade either way. So yeah, so like when NQ inversed, ES was already over here, stuff. So yeah, I was kind of iffy about it. It was a great trade though. You could have gone break even right here. And yeah, ended up being a break even. We ended up chopping. And then there was this, we were still holding this 50-minute right here. I was looking for us to sweep this hourly intermediate low, so this low inside of this fair value gap. We didn't really get that, and we ended up holding the 50-minute, and we got a 5-minute inverse. So you could have taken that. The only problem with it is that it closed at 9:55, but the only problem is that the hourly and 4 hour ended up closing like inversing this gap. So you're kind of like hoping to see this 50-minute fair value gap hold when we got the highest time frame inversion. So it's not really like too good. If the hourly fair value gap and 4 hour fair value gap had held, this would have been a super nice trade, but it didn't. So yeah. For this day, for me to be bullish, I wanted to see something. I mean, I was bullish going into the day, but since we invested 4 hour fair value gap and hourly fair value gap, I was leaning more bearish. And for me to take some longs, I wanted to see something like this. Open up a 5 minute fair value gap, top it, and then get an inverse out of it. We didn't get that sadly, and so yeah, there was really nothing else. I mean, there was some kind of shorts, mech shorts around here. We had an SMT with a high, and then we had this first try I could have taken here. Uh, I did take this on my eval. It failed, and then I took a second trade on my eval. This 1 minute inverse right here. So entry right here. targeting the on field 5 and 15 minute, I believe. Let me check. Uh, oh no, it was an on field 5 minute fair value gap, and you would have been break even at the on field 15 minute fair value gap. So this would have been your break even point. We had an SMT which I don't really know what high, but maybe this one. I'll check. Yeah, so we had an SMT with this high. Then yeah, that was a nice mech that I took on my evil. And then there was also a nice continuation long, but it was pretty late into the session and we had the SMT. So and once again I ended up taking this on my evil. So I ended up being break even that day on my evil. Uh, we tapped the 15 minute fair value gap, 5 minute fair value gap, 1 minute inverse, and we just ended up chopping like a fuck ton. Then I went break even like around here, I think. I just because ES ended up taking the high. So yeah, once ES took this high right here, I went break even. So I got start break even. Yeah, pretty choppy trade, but yeah. Okay, so now going into Thursday. Let me see. So I had a bullish bias. We were respecting the hourly fair value gap. We had that highs, which were Nvidia earnings, I believe. Yeah, we displacing higher. We had London highs right there and stuff. So I was looking for two scenarios here. It was either come down here and sweep this long and long from there, or take longs out of this 15-minute fair value gap. I don't think we got either of them. Um, uh, 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 let's see. So there were data highs. Uh, where was it? Is it here? Oh yeah. Oh, I remember what happened. Yeah. So we ended up tapping the 15-minute fair value gap, and as soon as we tapped it, we pumped. So there was no entry there. So that was a 15-minute fair value gap. Boom, we tapped it and market open, and then we just ripped up. And yeah, and then here I was still looking for longs. We had opened a 5-minute fair value gap. Oh yeah, this was my break-even trade. Yeah, so we had opened up this 5-minute fair value gap, so I was looking for a continuation long. Um, I was looking for some longs out of here. We had a, what was it, a 2-minute? Yeah, so we had this 2-minute fair value gap here, so I was gonna take this inverse. We didn't get it though. We ended up going lower, sweeping the low that I was initially looking at. It was an hourly intermediate low, I believe. Yeah, so this low inside of the gap. Looking for longs there, and then we got this 30-second inverse right here. And you may say, oh, but it took a bit of time to like inverse. We took what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles to inverse. Yeah, but if you look at it, we ended up opening up this order block, and the displacement out of the like inverse in the fair value gap was super good. So that is when I went long. Stop at the order block low, so right here. And then I had a break even at the on field. It was a super unfortunate break even on field 5-minute fair value gap right here. So that was my break even point. And then full take profit at the premium 5-minute fair value gap. And then I ended up getting stopped at break even, and then I hit my take profit. It was super unfortunate, but it is what it is. And yeah, and then there wasn't really anything else. Um, no, actually there was. We ended up opening up a 5-minute fair value gap. Um, ended up opening up a 5-minute fair value gap right here, and we got a 30-second inverse out of it. And 30-second inverse right here. I didn't take this though just because if you look at the 1 minute, we were super choppy and also this 30-second isn't like too obvious. So I wasn't really a fan of it. Didn't really like it. And then we ended up getting this 5 minute inverse to the downside, but it wasn't a great trade. Yes, we are coming out of this 5 minute here, but you're targeting a low that is protected, a high resistance low, like it's a low. I think he had an SMT as well. Never mind now. Actually, no, we did have an SMT. We had an SMT with London lows. Yeah, so you're targeting a low that swept another low and has an SMT with it, so it's a high resistance low. It's really not good, and especially since we're bullish. So yeah, if you were bearish, then yeah, then it's a great trade. But if you were bullish like me, it just wasn't really a nice one. And then we did end up having a mega model short on field 5 minute fair gap here and 5 minute inverse. So you could have taken this stop, I don't know, on there and take profit at 1 to 1. And yeah, I was not looking at the charts at the time though. I was journaling my break-even trade, so I missed out on it, but it was a pretty good trade though. It wasn't bad. We're coming out of a hourly gap. Yeah, pretty nice trade. Okay, and then now going into Friday, the last day of the week. Uh, okay, so I had a bearish bias. We had an SMT with all-time highs. We were we also ended up disrespecting a 4-hour fair value gap around here. We had our 2 hourly fair value gaps right here, so I was looking for some shorts. And then we did end up just dumping, I believe. We ended up just okay, yeah, I remember now. I kind of forgot. We ended up just dumping. Um, we didn't really get the kind of the Judas swing higher that I wanted to see. We just dumped. So then I was looking for continuation shorts. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. We didn't get it until we ended up sweeping data lows. And then we got a 30-second inverse right here. This was a decent Mac model. I just didn't really like it because I was still bearish. And yeah, so take profit here, break even here, and then yeah, that ended up playing out. And then I was looking for continuation shorts. We ended up tapping this family failure gap here, and we got a 3 minute inverse out of it. And I did not take this on my founder because it wasn't a great continuation setup. I just took it on my EVOL. I feel like it was a decent EVOL trade. But yeah, I ended up getting stopped. Let me see. Show. Yeah. Oh fuck. Holy voice crack. Yeah. And then we ended up opening up this 15-minute fair value gap. And I was going to take this 1 minute here. We didn't get the inverse though. We ended up getting a resweep of the high. And then a 2 minute inverse right here. And I should have taken this trade, but I started overthinking and over analyzing it. And so I fucking messed it up. Fucked up my own conviction and stuff. Because I thought that we were gonna go to this 15 minute here. And I also thought that we were generating liquidity. So that kind of fucked me up. It was a great trade though. Yeah, I should have taken it though. But yeah. And then there wasn't really anything else after. Yeah, this was a trade that I should have taken. Yeah, that's the problem that I have. I overthinking way too much and I end up messing with my own conviction. So yeah, and the reason that this isn't a great continuation setup lower is because of this. When taking continuations, let's say we have the draw here, around these lows right here, right? So this is a draw. Let me make them like equal. So that is a draw. Um, let's say we swept like I don't know some whatever. We swept something. We start going lower, and we sweep this low. We tapped a 5 minute revalue up here, and let's say we even though we still have draws lower, right? We still have draws lower. This is not a great setup because you're targeting a low that swept another low, and 9 times out of 10 is going to fail. So what you want to see is a, a generation of liquidity higher, and then you can kind of take this setup, right? Tapping another Peter rate, let's say a 15 minute value up or something. This is the better setup, the better continuation short. And yeah, if if we hadn't swept these lows right here and we tap a 5 minute value gap, then yes, this continuation would be A plus. But because we ended up sweeping these lows here on this scenario, right? So we ended up sweeping that a low. So it's a kind of high resistance low. You want to see more generation of more like liquidity get formed to then take shorts, to then take continuation shorts. So yeah, that's the reason that this failed, and the reason that this 2 minute parabolic gap did play out. And yeah, so outlook for the week, I'll probably be bearish until we take this low right here. Then I could expect maybe higher, but I will have to see how we displace out of this low, if we start flushing down or if we displace out of it. So yeah, and going to next week and this next month, I will try my best to not overthink my trades, and not to hesitate because I know what I'm doing. I always like recognize the setups. I just start overthinking and I self-sabotage myself. So yeah, that is something that I will keep in mind going into this month. So yeah, that is it for today. Peace out, boys.